Hello again, this is Lazouche Custom Shop here. Well, I thought it was about time, after all my previous year's projects, that I do a collection video, i.e. all of the pistols I currently own at this time. And it's quite a few. There's a few omissions, but I'll come to those as we go through the collection. Okay, where to start? Well, let's start with the usual ones. These are my Les Bayers. This is my Thunder Ranch, which you've all seen before. It keeps going. It's got a few upgrades in it. It's based on an MEU. The upgrades are a 5KU blowback housing. It's also got a PDI Black Raven tight bore in a barrel and a 9-ball hop-up. Very good pistol actually. I quite enjoy using that one. And of course my Old Faithful, which is my Les Bayer Premier 2 pistol, which was I think one of my very earliest ongoing custom projects. It's had quite a few facelifts over the years, but it's still going strong. It's looking a bit battered now, as you can see, around the thumb safety and grip safety, but it's still going, so quite happy with that. Then of course it's one of my later Les Bayer pistols, which is my Monolith. Monolith being the fact that it's got an extended dust cover. Good pistol, don't really use it enough. I should do really, but there you are, haven't yet. But it will get used a bit more eventually, I should imagine. But we'll just have to wait and see on that. But no upgrades in that, by the way. Oh, that's the same with the Premier 2. There's no upgrades in that either. It's just a standard MEU. Same with the Monolith. It's a standard MEU, or based on. Then we have Eleanor, which is my replica of the Les Bayer Boss, which this article here is talking about, funny enough. Good pistol. Eleanor has had quite a few hundreds of thousands of rounds pumped through her. She's originally was a 1911 A1, and in fact she was the first single stack TM pistol that I ever bought. That's the internals. She's since had a facelift or a new dress, whatever you want to call it, and she's now dressed up as a Les Bayer Boss pistol. Pretty good. I quite like her. Don't use her enough now, but there you are. But she's a good standby pistol. As far as I know, there's no upgrades in that pistol, so it's just a standard TM pistol. Then moving along with the transition over to my Ed Brown pistols. Now, as you can see, there's one additional pistol here which hasn't, well, had the light of day for quite some time, which is the Ed Brown Special Forces. Now, this one is a bit of a mishmash of parts. The only bits that were left over from the original project, which was the grips and the slide and frame, they have now been refitted, and all of the internals are different, so it's a little bit different to what it originally was. But I thought I'd, well, like the phoenix from the ashes, it comes back to life again. I just thought I'd give it another go. The next Ed Brown that I've got is this one, which is my Ed Brown Mossad Ayoub carry pistol. Nice little pistol, doesn't get used enough. It's a bit unique in the fact that it's got a bobtail to the frame. And of course it's a commander size, which you can't actually buy in the shops other than the 4.3. But this, as you can see, is a 4.3 frame slide which has been cut down and had the chin cuts done on it. So yeah, well, just follow the videos that I've done in the past on that one and you'll see what I mean. And then there's this little beauty, which is my Jim Wilson Sheriff, Jim Wilson Special. Love this gun. It was the first one that I actually tried to experiment by doing the Series 70. I don't know if you can see it there, if this camera will focus on it, but it's got the Series 70 serrated arched mainspring housing. It was a bit of an experiment at the time, but it seemed to work, and that was before Tokyo Marine brought out their version of it. Okay, next few pistols are my high capper variants. This is my Wilson Combat, which hopefully if this video camera will focus in, there we go, is the KZ9. It's meant to be the 9mm Wilson Combat high capacity pistol. It's essentially an MEU slide mated to my very first high capper frame that I ever bought. Good pistol, keeps going, chugs along. Never had any problems with it. In fact, the frame was abused, or yeah, it was abused. It was the first pistol that I ever bought of Tokyo Marui's, and for a whole year it was just left uncleaned and unmaintained, other than lubrication, just to see how well it would do. And as you can see, it's still going. So there you go, testament to their reliability there. Then we have another high capper variant. This is the Enterprise Arms, or my replica of the Enterprise Arms Boxer P500 high capacity pistol. Doesn't get used enough, should do really, but there you are. It's essentially just a basic high capper, no upgrades. Oh, by the way, none of these other pistols that I've just been previously mentioning have got any upgrades in them. They're all standard. Then we move on to my Executive, my STI Executive. Now this pistol I love. I absolutely like the look of it. I fell in love with it first time I saw it, and always wanted one. Bit disappointed on the Shooter's Design grips, because the gaps were pretty bad at the back there, as you can see, but other than that, it's a good pistol and I'm quite satisfied with it. Upgrades in that are zero. There are no upgraded parts in that whatsoever. It's just got standard bits in it. Moving on to one of my latest projects, which is the Straya Voigt Masterpiece. Originally I was going to do it exactly the same as the Straya Voigt or SVI model, but I came up with my own sort of take on it, and I quite like the look of that, to be quite honest. It's a good little pistol, doesn't get used enough, or hopefully will do this year. You may notice I've changed the grips. I've now got white ivory fake grips on it, or whatever. I think I have covered in how I did that, but anyway, how I made those grips, which is just easy enough. You just sand them down, spray them as you would any other plastic part, and just mask them off. But there you go, so that's that one. Then I've got my little 4.3 Tactical Custom, which has had the, as you can see, at least I hope you can, has had the dust cover ground or rounded off. No good if you want to fit a torch, obviously, but then I just swap the frames over if I'm going to do that. That was the second pistol I ever bought, and it's just kept going. It's had a uprated recoil spring in it, although recently I've been able to take that out because it seems to work without it. So there you are, bit of a, well, long in the tooth, let's put it that way, with that pistol, but still going, still going. Then I've got my old Lender outer, for want of a better word. This one gets, well, used and abused by everybody. It's been lent out, loaned out, whatever, to various players. It's my replica of the Taurus PT 1911. It's essentially a high capper, just with different grips and a standard 1911 A1 slide, which has had the serrations done exactly like the Taurus. So it's a little bit different, looking a little bit worse for wear now, but it just keeps going. So as the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Moving across to my latest, well, some of my latest projects, which is both of my Kimbers, which is the Warrior down the bottom, which is my latest one, so I've just completed, and of course the TLE2 Custom, which well, is essentially the SWAT custom pistol. Lovely guns, like them, both with metal slides. The bottom one, the Warrior, has got a Nova slide. Top one has got an Airsoft Shooter's Design, beg your pardon, Shooter's Design slide. Both pistols pretty good. They've both got uprated recoil springs. They've got 9-ball hot rubbers, and they've got Black Raven PDI barrels. 6.01s, that is. Then we come across to one of my latest acquisitions I bought straight off the shelf. This is the Tokyo Marui Series 70 Colt Mark IV. Good pistol. Haven't really used it that much yet. Will do over the coming months, I'm sure. But I just love the way that they've come and done this metal sort of finish to the pistol. It's really, really good. Exceptionally good. You put this up against a real steel and it's hard to tell the difference. Very, very good pistol. Looks wise, anyway. Okay, then we move on to my Pachmayr Combat Special. This has had a few tweaks over the years since I did the original video. Main thing is the slide stop has been replaced with a standard chromed slide stop. It's a Nova part. And of course the safety lever, or thumb safety, has been replaced with a Wilson 192 safety lever, ambi, which also Nova produce. But other than that, it's essentially the same gun that was done in the original video. No upgraded parts in there now, unfortunately. The parts have been taken out, i.e. the 9-ball and the 9-ball hot rubber, that is, and the PDI Black Raven barrel. They've all been taken out and used elsewhere on other projects, so it's essentially a standard TM pistol, really. Okay, moving down, we have the little Nighthawk Ladyhawk. I love this little gun purely for the colour, obviously not for the name, but it's a lovely little gun. I don't use her enough. In fact, I'm a little bit frightened to use her because, similar to my Jim Wilson Special, I'm frightened to put any marks or bumps or scratches on her because she's such a nice looking gun. Again, it's a commander size, so it's a custom pistol. It's had a few bits and bobs done to it which you won't find on your regular pistols. So if you want to see what I've done to that pistol, then watch the other videos, the build of it or whatever, and you'll see. Okay, then we move down to my film replicas. Yes, as you can see, this is, well, I know all of you out there know what this is because it's an archetypal pistol. It's the Punisher 1911. It's the correct version, i.e. with the compensator fitted to the barrel, not to the slide. And, well, if you watch the videos or whatever, it'll explain exactly what went into making that gun. But I have sort of thought about making the pair that was used in the film, but essentially at the moment I'm just going to stick with the one gun. But we'll see how that goes. I may build another one in the future, we'll just see. Now then, yes, Tom Selleck, yes, I know. Well, he did a series of films called the Jesse Stone films. They're murder mystery films. Bit slow, bit boring maybe, I don't know. But I did like the little commander-sized gun that he uses in it. It's not a Smith & Wesson, as a lot of people have thought in the past who have watched those series of films. It's actually a Colt that's been custom made for Tom Selleck. It's actually his own gun, which I was quite surprised about. It's got gun sight grips on it. That's my rendition or version of gun sight grips. If you look on the other side, you'll see that it's got the logo on there as well. But if you're really interested in what I did to build that gun, then obviously follow the build project videos. Moving down, we have my Street Kings pistol. Now this one was, well, I think it is the first film replica pistol that I ever decided to make. I loved this gun. The moment I saw it in the film, I thought, I've got to have that gun. Over the years, it's had bits and bobs added to it to make it more and more accurate to the film version, which you can see there, that Keanu Reeves is actually using. It's now got a Colt Mark IV Series 70 slide on it. Not strictly true to the real steel film replica. It should just have a standard Colt slide on it, but I preferred that slide because it looked more realistic. Other things that have been added are a Wilson extended slide lock lever, whereas the original was a 9-ball one. That's by Nova, by the way. And it's got a Nova Wilson 192 ambi safety has been added. The grip safety has been ground down. It's a standard 5.1 Tokyo Marui grip safety, but I've ground it down and repainted it or whatever just to make it identical to the one in the film. It's also got a Nova Smith & Alexander extended magwell mainspring housing, which is exactly like the one in the film. But essentially the only thing that's missing off that now is the correct grips, which I'm still waiting on, which are the wooden ones. So eventually I will get them, I know. Okay, coming down to my other film replica. Here we have the Marked for Death Federal Ordnance PSP-07 high capacity pistol. Well, actually it's not high capacity. The real steel one that was used in the film was a single stack pistol, but it just had very large mag bumpers on it, as you can see. I didn't have a single stack frame available at the time of making this gun, so I made it as a high capacity pistol. As you can see, it's got the same sort of principle as the Punisher. The compensator is attached to the barrel, exactly the same as the Punisher one. Originally it wasn't, it was attached to the guide rod, but in a catastrophic accident that plan totally failed and it blew the front of the pistol off, so I've rebuilt it, and as you can see it's a lot more detailed than what it was originally, because I've put in the extractor, external extractors, which are either side of the pistol slide, and I've also ground or filed the cocking serrations on the rear of the slide, exactly as the real steel one. Other than that, it's essentially the same gun as the original one that I built. Moving over to my other film pistol, here we have, yes, you know it, it's the AMT Hardballer. Everybody loves this gun, they really, really do. It's accurate, no upgraded parts in it. In fact, yeah, there isn't, it's just standard TM parts in it. The barrel or whatever was a cut down VSR sniper rifle barrel, which a friend of mine, Womble Gunsmith, cut down and fitted for me, so, or whatever. Good gun, very, very accurate, very, very rangy. I love it, absolutely love that gun. Oh, with regards to upgrades, the only pistols out of my film version pistols that have got upgrades is my Street Kings, which has got a 9-ball hot rubber and a PDI inner barrel. And my Punisher has got a 9-ball hot rubber and I think it's a 9-ball inner barrel, but I'm not sure on that, but it was an odd one that I had in my spares box. And the Mark for Death pistol, that has got a 9-ball hot rubber, and I think it's just got a standard VSR barrel cut down. Okay, onwards from the film pistols, we come to, yes, out of all of the 1911s, there is one little solitary Glock. Very, very good little pistol. I absolutely adore this little gun. It just keeps going and going and going. It's had a few dings, a few knocks, as you can see, over the years, but essentially it's been ultra, ultra reliable. I've never stripped it down. I've never really cleaned the inside of the frame. I've cleaned the slide and the blowback housing and so forth, but the frame and everything else inside has never been stripped, never been cleaned, just lubricated. So it's a bit of an ongoing test, I suppose, to make sure that this gun will perform no matter what's thrown at it. Very, very good little pistol. Love using it. Watch my review of it if you're interested in getting one, and it will go into a bit more detail as to what that pistol actually has to offer. Excellent little pistol. Very, very good indeed. Okay, moving on. We have one of my odd projects that didn't really get that much publicity at the time that I built it, which is my Springfield Armory Range Officer pistol, which is what this one here, that's what the real steel looks like. Haven't really used it that much. I should do, but there you are. I've got so many other pistols to choose from that it's finding the right one, finding the time or whatever to be able to use it. But it's a good gun. Essentially it's just an MEU again, mated to a high capper slide, and yeah, it works fine. I don't think it's ever been loaned out, but the odd few times that I have used it seems to work fine, so no worries there. Now you may have seen some of the magazines, books and whatever that are dotted around. These are all some of the reference books that I use to get my ideas from. I know some of you out there have asked, oh, where do you get your ideas? Well, there you are. Obviously the Knight Triumphant book that you can just see over there is not for guns, but it's just for a bit of history, because I do like my history. Anyway, but yes, so that's all the books and manuals and pictures and God knows what that I use for my reference material. It's mainly guns and ammo, although some of those books, as you can see over there, the 1911, The First 100 Years by Patrick Sweeney, again he's an editor for Guns and Ammo magazine. Excellent, excellent book if you're interested in the history of the 1911 and a lot of other stuff as well. He doesn't just cover that pistol in there. Very, very good book indeed. I believe some of my viewers out there may recognise that book there, which is Small Arms from 18 something or other to up to the present day. Good little book for reference material, not just on pistols but on pretty much anything, so really good little book. And the book behind it, which is called Weapon, is mainly for historical buffs out there. It covers every single weapon ever used by man from the very earliest right up to the modern day. Excellent, excellent book. Bit expensive, but well worth a read. So there you go. So that's my collection of pistols and 1911s. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Now then, I know a lot of you are saying, hang on a minute, there's a few missing. Yes, there is. The ones that are missing are my Talon 2. That one's missing. Currently in bits, it's being rebuilt. It's done sterling service over the years, but it was getting very, very tatty, so she needed a bit of a wash and brush up. So that's what I'm doing to her at the moment. And future projects. Well, you guys are in for a bit of a surprise here. Yes, I'm finally going to do it after the experience gained with the Strela Voigt pistol. I'm now going to go for building, yes, you've spotted it, the Nighthawk T3 compensated carry pistol. I like this pistol. I didn't originally, but now it's sort of grown on me, so I'm actually going to try and give it a go and build it. This is my next project that's going to be coming along soon. So far I've got all the bits together, but we'll just have to wait and see how that project goes. Some of you guys out there have asked, oh, you know, where's your spares box? What other stuff have you got? Well, there's all my spares. As you can see, I've got, well, hopefully you can see anyway, if I darken the image down a bit and this thing will focus in, which it doesn't appear to want to at the moment. Anyway, that's my spares box. You've got thumb safeties, you've got hammer struts, you've got all sorts, screws, hot units, grip safeties, triggers, all sorts, guide rod plugs, everything from hammers to blowback units, you name it. And over there you've got the slides, frames and everything else. So yeah, quite a bit of spares. And my black plastic that I use to make my sights and so forth, my foresights. And of course we have there the frames, various types, for upcoming projects, which I'll give you a bit of an idea as to what's possibly coming in the future. Long way off, but it might be happening, so I'll give you an idea in that in a minute. So there you are. So that's my project for the moment that I'm building. Now then, with regards to the future, I'm currently testing, and this is all slightly hush-hush at the moment, but I'll let you have this little bit of info for the moment. I'm currently testing my own design of 1911. I'm going to be tweaking it and sort of upgrading it as the time goes on, but this will be going on in the background to eventually I come to making my own 1911 pistol for possible sale on limited run. So, and it will be very limited. So, but as I say, that's in the future. As you can see, it's just a standard 1911. It's an MEU. Well, actually, it's not. It's it's a 1911A1 that I've retrofitted to have a Bomar rear sight and to have a beaver tail grip safety and so forth fitted to it, and a 3-hole trigger and real wood grips. It's got no internal upgrades at all. This is just to see how a standard TM internaled pistol with my sort of take on it will perform, and so far it seems to be working pretty well. It's essentially very, very similar to the Street Kings pistol, so it's essentially very, very similar to that, but other than that, it's it's my own sort of design. But as I say, things will be changed on this, because eventually it will be well, I'm aiming to make an MEU pistol with a high capper slide, and there's the two slides that are going to be or are being fitted out ready for the two prototype pistols, which eventually will be possibly offered for sale. So there you go. So yes, I don't normally sell pistols, as you know, or you know, pay out for custom work or whatever, or do anything for viewers with regards to that. But well, a lot of you out there have inquired and asked as to whether I would actually sell any guns or pistols or whatever. Well, there's possibly going to be 2 pistols available in the future, so wait and see for that one. Okay, other upcoming projects are here, as you can see. Zoom out a bit. Yes, you've guessed it, I'm going to be doing the Miller Custom pistol. I absolutely love this gun, really, really do. So that, after my T3 Nighthawk, that is my next project, hopefully, if all goes well. Yes, it's the one used by Chris Costa, built by Miller Custom. Really, really good pistol, love it a hell of a lot. So yeah, it's definitely on my to-do list. Another pistol I want to build, although I've spoken about it possibly in the past, I think, is the Devil Gammon compensated pistol from the 1980s. Well ahead of its time when it was designed. The chap who built it and designed it unfortunately was murdered, I believe, a number of years back now, but his ideas were revolutionary. Very good gun, competition pistol. I like it. It looks unusual. That compensator is absolutely mad, but that's what draws me to it. It's just unusual, so that will be a definite future project. Another film-based future project is this little one here, which is the, I don't know if any of you remember, you might not be, well, you might remember, you might not, depending on your age, but there was a series that Don Johnson did after Miami Vice called Nash Bridges, and this was his compensated commander-sized 1911 pistol that he had built for the programme. Nice little pistol, unusual, so I quite like it, so I'm going to see if I can build one of those. As I say, it's vying for position with regards to making another Punisher pistol, so we'll just have to see what happens with those. But as I say, so that's my future possible builds. Whether they'll get done or not, I don't really know, we'll just have to wait and see. But there are others on the pile there, as you can see, that I'm thinking about building. Don't know whether they will or not, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, yes, I know that you're all screaming out there, oh my god, there's a pink 1911 in the picture, what the hell's going on? Well, yeah, sorry guys, it's this might sound stupid, but I quite like it. It's an unusual colour, so I may build one, I don't know, I'll see how it goes. And yes, some of you out there are screaming up and down, jumping up and down in excitement. That is a Gears of War 1911. I think it's Gears of War anyway. A lot of you gamers out there seem to like that particular pistol, so I may be building that one in the future too. So there you are guys, that's my little collection of weaponry there, of pistols, as it stands at the moment. As I say, the next pistol project that will be being done is my T3 compensated Nighthawk pistol, and of course the rebuild of my Talon 2, but that'll be like a hospital project that will just be going on in the background. But it's mainly going to be these pistols here that will be most probably the next projects after the T3. So yeah, so stay tuned for those. Anyway, so there you go, so that's my collection. It stands at, I believe, it's 28 pistols that I currently own, possibly 29, I'm not quite sure, depending on parts. There are some missing, other than the Talon 2 that I mentioned, namely, yes, the TRP. Where on earth has that gone, you're inquiring? Well, unfortunately, after numerous upgrades, downgrades, fiddling, tweaking, grinding and everything else, it eventually succumbed. It was never ever going to work properly. I was scratching my head over and over again as to why it would not work. So it's been stripped, the parts have been used here, there and everywhere. That's partially the parts that have gone into my latest carry pistol that I'm doing as an ongoing project. But yes, it's gone. It's been relegated to the parts bin or whatever. I don't know whether I'll rebuild it again or whatever. We'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, at the moment, it's been scrapped purely because it was unreliable. And my old adage is, as you quite rightly know, if it doesn't work, it gets stripped and reused and rebuilt into something else. So simple as that. I will not tolerate a non-usable pistol, i.e. a wall hanger. Just won't do it. All my pistols you see here work, and work well. So any that don't usually get, well, as I say, stripped or rebuilt. So there you are. Anyway, that's the other pistol that's missing. The only other one is my Western Arms Infinity 6-inch Limited, which is up in the loft, as it usually is. That was an expensive pistol to buy. I bought it purely because it was a film replica type pistol that was used in one of the Cowboy Bebop manga films. It's the only reason why I bought it. But it's a Western Arms. Yeah, they're alright, but I don't particularly like them, so it never gets used. So there you are. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed viewing my latest and up-to-date collection video. As you can see, it's the collection's still growing, although it's also shrinking as well. As I say, some of them are missing from this video, but as I say, some are new ones that have just sprung up. So there you are. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. And all I'll say is stay tuned for further projects that are up and coming, and hopefully for many more videos in the future to come, including my AEG long arms videos, which I believe are going down quite well at the moment. So there'll be plenty more of those in the future. So as I say, stay tuned and see how it goes. Okay guys, take care, and as I always say, stay sharp but stay safe. Bye for now.